Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to depot your candles. So let's get started. So what you want to start off with is by putting your candles in the freezer for about 3 hours. You could place them in there for more if you need to. Next, what I'm doing is tapping the wax and it'll slide right out. What the freezer does, it shrinks the wax, so the wax will be able to slide right out. So I'm going to save the wax for another project, and next I'm going to move on to another candle, and I'm going to again tap the wax and just wiggle your knife in there and it'll slide right out. It'll also come out with your 3 wicks, as you can see. Now I'm just going to save the wax for another project, like I said. Now I'm going to take my Yankee candle and I'm going to start wiggling the knife around. And I actually needed to get a sharper knife to start cracking the wax because the neck of the jar was not allowing the wax to come through as a whole single piece. So again, I'll need to cut that into chunks. So just be careful that you don't squeeze the jar or hard enough to where you can cut yourself or cut yourself with a knife. Just be very careful. Now I'm going to put the wax in the little baggie that I have and save the wax pieces for later. So now you now have a clean candle jar, well, a depotted candle jar. What I'm going to take is some vinegar, and I'm going to place the vinegar in the candle jar, and I'm going to get a round cotton round and place some vinegar on that. Now the vinegar will help get rid of any particles or soot that the candle leaves behind. So just kind of swirl the vinegar around in the jar, and once you're ready, whip it around with the cotton round. So now wipe the bottom of the jar with any leftover vinegar to get rid of any of stickiness from the sticker that it probably has on the bottom. Now I'm going to take my next candle jar and place some more vinegar in the bottom of the jar and swirl it around, and again just wiping with a cotton round, wiping the sides of the jar to get rid of any soot that remains from the candle burning when the candle was burning. Now I'm going to take some soap and water and a sponge, and I'm going to wash the candle jar to get rid of anything else that did not come out. So I'm also going to wash the outside of the jar to get the stickers that are on the outside of the jar wet, so I can go in later on and remove the stickers more easily. So I'm going to rinse the jar and be careful that the jar does not slip, because the jar can be very slippery sometimes. So just be careful that you don't drop it or cut yourself. I'm now going to take a knife and start scratching the sticker off the bottom of the jar. I also wet the sticker so it can be easier to remove. So just remove the sticker and throw it away. Make sure you don't get any of those particles in your sink because you can clog your sink up if you get a sticker in your drain. So just be careful with that as well, and make sure that you don't cut yourself with the knife or the little tool that I'm using. So now remove the label, and that label was easily removed. It just comes right off. Then I'm going to take some vinegar, the cotton round with vinegar, and wipe any remnants that remains on it. I'm then going to wash the jar again with soap and water, and then rinse the jar again. Just be careful you don't drop the jar in the sink. And you now have a cleaner jar. I'm going to take some Goo Gone to get rid of any hard, stickiness that's left on the bottom of the jar. Some stickers are more difficult and the vinegar is not enough. So in this case, I needed to take a Q-tip and swirl that Goo Gone around the bottom of the jar. Now I like to let the Goo Gone sit for maybe a minute or two, maybe 5 minutes, and I'll go and move on to my next jar and just alternate different jars. But that Goo Gone, if you do not want to use vinegar, you can go straight into the Goo Gone and it will remove anything. It'll remove even wax particles that you have remaining on the bottom of the jar. If you also have a wick that is stuck to the bottom of the jar, you can place some Goo Gone around it and the wick should come out. Now I like to take a Q-tip and swirl it around and let it sit in the bottom, on the top of the jar while it kind of really steps in. Now I'm going into the rest of the jar and getting any stickers or wax particles that were stuck on there. Now I'm going back into the other jar and taking a dry cotton round and wiping it. Now this is going to help me wipe away the Goo Gone. Now I took the cotton round and I went in the inside with a little bit of Goo Gone and wiped in the inside of the jar to get anything else that was in the jar. I'm going to go back into my little knife and scratch away any difficult pieces that were not coming off. Now I'm moving into my other jar and just swirling around the Goo Gone. At the top of the jar, really just swirl it around. It'll do its job. I really love this product to remove any stickers and unwanted things. I'm going back and getting my cotton round and wiping away the excess of the Goo Gone, and just really let the Goo Gone work for you. Now I'm wiping the sides of the jar, and I'm even going to go on the inside and wipe away anything else. This product really works to remove wax, and it'll really work. So if you do not want to use the vinegar, I recommend the Goo Gone or the vinegar. But for one of my smaller candles, it worked really good. The vinegar worked great. But for these two candles, I was struggling with the stickers, and I needed a more powerful product. So the Goo Gone was the way to go for me. I'm then going to remove this Yankee Candle sticker from the outside of the candle. And I'm going to get my little knife in to assist me and peel it away. So again, I'm going to take some more Goo Gone and spray it on to where the label was to remove the adhesive that was on the sticker. I'm going to take a Q-tip just to swirl the product around onto where the adhesive was. And I'm going to really let the Goo Gone sit on there for a couple of minutes. And just keep swirling the product around so it can really melt that adhesive. I'm then going to take my sponge and wash away the Goo Gone and get rid of all the harsh chemicals, because that Goo Gone is pretty harsh. So you want to make sure that if you're going to use the jar for something edible, to rinse away those products. Either way, if you're not putting something edible, you want to get rid of that Goo Gone, because it is a toxic chemical. So make sure you really wash it with soap and water and get rid of that Goo Gone chemical. Make sure you rinse it really good and use good soap to get rid of that harsh chemical again. Then just take a towel and dry your candle up. And you now have a clean jar that you can use for multiple uses. I usually put cotton pads in there, Q-tips. For the Bath and Body Works ones, I put nail polish in them. You can use it for many storage things. So now you can use your new candle jars and repurpose them for a future project that you guys may have. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and let me know of any videos that you guys would like to see.